And during commercial break, Blake Shelton walks up on the stage and has a full bottle, I think it was whiskey. I don't know what it was. I don't drink that much. I don't hardly drink at all. I smoke cigars. That's my thing. But full bottle, takes it off and goes, y'all need this more than I do. And he took a big old swig, and then me, I took a big swig, and then Ricky took a big swig. And not a lot of people know that story. And it was just a fun little bonding moment for us three that we got to share a drink with Blake Shelton on stage.
He is open for Alabama, Darius Rucker, Jordan Davis. He has a new song out. He happens to know Kelly Clarkson really well because he won season 17 of The Voice. I am so excited. Jake Hoot is here. Hello, Jake.
Hey, how are you?
I am fantastic. Super thrilled to have you here. We have so much to talk about. I've got pages of notes. Your people sent me all of your accolades, and I was like, I don't think we're going to get to all of this.
Oh, gosh, I hope they left out the bad ones.
Okay, there were no bad ones, no bad ones. So, obviously everybody wants to know about The Voice, season 17. You were the winner. So Kelly Clarkson was the only one that turned her chair, right?
She was.
She's so smart.
She is, and I try not to hold it against Blake too much. But, it ended up working out because I even told Kelly that had Blake turned, I probably would have gone with him because I love Blake Shelton. Right. But it ended up working out perfectly.
Yeah. And now you've been on her show. You guys have done a song together. Tell us about the song.
When I was on The Voice, Kelly had told me numerous times, hey, I would love to work with you after this, whether you win or lose. And so I held her to it. And almost immediately after the show, I wrote a song with Jamie Floyd, who's an incredible writer here in Nashville. Dean Sam's another incredible writer, but he also plays piano for Lone Star. And we wrote this song called I Would Have Loved You, and I sent it to Kelly, and she loved the song, and we ended up recording it, I think in 2020. Did a music video out in LA during all the midst of all the craziness going on. And it's been an incredible thing, yeah.
Yeah, so you've done that with her. What else? I have that a whole list here. You did that show. You guys did a video.
We did.
CMT that was the whole broadcast on CMT?
They took it and ran with it. And it's just been cool because, so many people have been able to connect with that. And then still people bring up the duet I did with her on The Voice, the Christmas song we did together, Winter Song. So I've been able to work with her in multiple different things. And then I wrote and sang a Christmas song last year with the Tenors, and she ended up loving that song and putting that on her show as well.
Well, okay, the bond pretty strong with Kelly Clarkson. She's pretty cool, right?
Oh, she's terrible.
No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. She seems like, just watching her show and just seeing how she interacts and everything, she just seems like somebody who'd be super cool to hang out with, a real genuine, just real cool person.
Very down to earth, very funny. She's only this tall, but she's just a great person. She's from the great state of Texas. All my Texans out there, but just very sweet and, like you said, very genuine.
Yeah. Now, you have a new song out, Before You. Tell us about this song. You just released it. When did you release this? Just a couple months ago, right?
Yeah, a little over a month ago, I think. Yes, ma'am. I was told by a very seasoned writer years ago, write what you know. And, we got, my wife and I got married a little over a year ago. We just had a baby. And so, love is in the air. And so here lately, I've been writing a lot of love songs. And we went into the writing room one day and we started just throwing around ideas. And we all started talking about and collectively, bringing up memories and stuff of people that, that we are with, that all the things that we thought we knew about love, all the things we thought we knew about happiness and life and stuff, we didn't find out until them. And, it's kind of like God bless the broken road of you go through all these, different situations, maybe different people, whatever, only to get to this person. And so the song is, basically, I didn't really know a whole lot about this before you. And so it ended up being really well, and, people have responded well to it. So we're really happy with it.
I love this. Now, so I follow you on your socials and everything, and I love your socials. I love your wife.
Oh, I do too.
Okay, I'm so glad that you said that, honestly. But you guys are doing a song together. And I heard her, she was singing on one of these songs. I was like, oh, dang, she's good too.
Yes, and I may pull her in on that one. There's a song called Endless that, another love song, surprise. And we love singing together. She's got such a beautiful voice. We released a song last year together called Wherever Time Goes, and people have just been begging for her to be back on songs. And so she loves this song called Endless. And one day I was sitting out on the porch and she decided she wanted to sing it with me, and we posted it, and people have been, all over it wanting her to sing on it. So that may be another duet song. We don't know yet.
I love it. It's kind of like, it reminded me of, I was like Kane Brown with his new song, and he brought his wife on. And it was one of those where I'm all, okay, where's he been hiding her?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, like they're really good. And same thing, like hearing your wife sing on some of your socials, I was,
Absolutely.
Like, that's pretty exciting. Now, I love some of the things that you do on your socials. You were just talking about, your most recent post was the freezer.
Yes.
And I love it because you brought the baby with you.
I did. I did. Yeah, I'm getting ready for Thanksgiving. I'm the biggest Christmas guy you've ever met. I'm like Clark Griswold times 10. But I also love Thanksgiving too, because I love times that family gets together. And probably a few years ago, I started deep frying turkeys. And so like any good preparing dad would do, we get our turkeys a month in advance to make sure there's enough, My wife doesn't let me live that down, but we didn't have room in our freezer. And so we went to go get a deep freeze. I ended up talking to the people that were selling it, getting it 50% off because there was a ding, and we installed it yesterday. And, I kept going out and making sure it was cooling, and everything else. And I would just find myself staring at the stupid thing. And it's a freezer, y'all. It's a little black mini freezer. And so I thought, I need to do a video about this. And like you said, I included our newest little addition, Maddie. She wasn't too fond of it. I really like the freezer though. And so, we did a video.
I love it. I like the baking with Jake.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, that was really good. Now you're doing keto diet, right?
I am, which is really hard to do. If any of y'all are watching this, send me recipes. Go on my social, send me recipes. But yeah, baking with Jake is something I started back during super quarantine times because I love the kitchen, and I've got all my gadgets in there. And we just have a good time in the kitchen. And so sometimes I'd bring my oldest in, Macy, and other times it would just be me, or I'd bring my wife in. And so we're kind of bringing those back around. They're just fun because, one, we get to enjoy it after I'm done cooking it, but two, I get to show people the insanity that happens when I'm in the kitchen. So, and
I love that. The last one you did that I watched, and you telling your wife to do the dishes. I sat there and I watched it and I went, oh, he did not. He did not.
I had to ask her permission before I did that.
Right.
I said, honey, do you mind if I put this little segment in there? And, she was okay with it. But yeah, had I done that off the cuff, y'all would have probably seen something thrown at me and I'd have been ducking or something. But
well, it makes for good video, I guess, right?
Exactly. Black eye, who cares?
It's all for the sake of TikTok, right?
That's right.
Oh, good. So now tell me about growing up. So you were born in Texas.
I was.
But my notes here say that you were raised in the Dominican Republic.
I was.
Tell us about that.
My parents were missionaries for many years, and we traveled all over the United States after I was born, lived in Oklahoma and Tennessee, and then we moved over to Haiti for a few months, and then we moved to the Dominican Republic. And I lived there almost 11 years before I moved back to go to college. They ended up living there, probably 14 years, right at 14 years. But it was incredible. It's an incredible way to grow up. We got to see a whole different side of life that I feel like growing up in the U.S. you miss out on. And as my girls get older, and if we have more kids as they get older, I want to be able to take them and see that side, just because, I don't think you can say third world country anymore, but, growing up in a deep poverty country, I don't know if I'm saying that right. It just opens your eyes. People are happier with a lot less than what we have. And so it was a great way to grow up, and, everything is about rhythm down there. And so I learned a lot of rhythm. And it was, being there with 9 siblings and my parents, we always had a full football team if we wanted to go out and play and do whatever, but a really interesting way to grow up. And I'm very, very thankful for it.
It's interesting. I've never really met any country artists really who have had an experience like that. So I'm sure, like you said, that kind of gives you a different perspective on life, and kind of, you said, that rhythm kind of thing, bringing a little something to your music.
Absolutely, yeah. And I was very fortunate when I moved back and started going to college. I had a friend that indoctrinated me into country music really well, and we'd ride around in his truck all the time, and he'd be playing all these different songs because I listened to a lot of the Eagles growing up and Jimmy Buffett, and so a lot of the country stuff I learned in the college days and just fell in love with it. So
I know. I fell in love with it when I was very, very young, and I'm still in love with it, which is great, which is why I'm here.
Absolutely. I mean, who doesn't love stories, right? I mean,
that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of stories and some history in country music, how many times have you been at the Grand Ole Opry now?
17 times.
17?
Yes.
My goodness.
Yes.
Tell us about the first time that you played at the Grand Ole Opry.
Oh, it was, I think being on The Voice was very, when I say stressful, I mean it in a good way. Like it was a needed stress because you're playing in front of, I don't know how many hundreds of people in that room, but then you're playing live TV in front of millions, and you're playing in front of 4 legends in the music industry. And so it was stressful. The level of stress playing the Opry was a completely different level for me, just because I had been to the Opry so many times as an audience member. And I can remember telling my grandparents I took them to their first Opry, and I remember sitting there saying, I don't care if I'm sweeping the stage, I'm going to be on it someday. I don't care what I have to do. Getting to walk out there and have so many people that were influential in my life be there and be able to be a part of it. It was incredible. And Jamie Daly from Daly and Vincent, who are Opry members, invited me to come play. So not only did I get to do my 3-song set, but I also got to sing 2 songs in their set.
Nice.
And it was just magical. You get to step out there in the circle. I cried through 3 of the songs, forgot words in the second, in the next 2 songs. But it was just, that's just such a, it feels like home every time you play there. Whether it's the staff that works there at the Opry or the audience, everybody just makes you feel so welcome. Yeah. And so it doesn't get any less stressful. I'll just tell you that, playing it 17 times. I'm aiming for that membership, in the next few years. And as many times as I played it, I still get, shaky and nervous every time I play it. So really incredible place.
It is. So I say there's only 2 places I cry guaranteed every single time. That's at church and that's Grand Ole Opry. Guaranteed, there's going to be tears.
Those are 2 good places to cry
in a good way.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a good way.
Yes.
Don't make me go. Yeah. Just kidding. I do enjoy it. Well, I know you brought your guitar. Are you ready to play your new song, Before You, for us?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay, great. When we come back, Jake Hoot is going to play his new song, Before You.
Hey, y'all. This is Jake Hoot, and this is my brand new single. Before you, I won't lie, there was a few close calls and almost maybes. They all made me who I am. Before you, I was sure that I was living, didn't know what I was missing, till I got to be your man. I thought I knew what good love looked like, so sure I was doing it right, but I had it all wrong. I thought I knew how forever feels, but I was just spinning my wheels. There's 1,000 things I swore I thought I knew before you. Sky was blue, but it wasn't blue. My heart beat, but it wasn't beating the way it is right now. If I'm wrapped up in your arms, I ain't ever coming down. I thought I knew what good love looked like, so sure I was doing it right, but I had it all wrong. I
Okay, Jake Hoot with Before You. Thank you so much for playing that.
Of course. Thank you for asking.
I'm loving the song, so go stream it on all the music platforms. Go get his music, and of course, follow him on the socials as well.
Please.
Yes, exactly. Well, before you go, we have to play.
Hey, before you go.
Before you go.
Hey.
We have to play my world famous game. I call it world famous because you know what? We're on YouTube and it's worldwide. So this is called Truth or Truth. Are you ready to play? You get to pick your own questions.
Truth or truth. There we go. I'm not looking, y'all. Okay. What famous person do people think you look most like? Oh, this is an interesting one. I have been told I look like Chris Young.
Okay.
And then I've also been told I look like Jack Black.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah, see that.
I don't know if there's I don't know what that mixture would look
I think you
like,
might
but
be
I'm afraid.
I think you're a better looking Jack Black. No offense, Jack. He's
Aw.
married. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Come on.
So those, I feel like that's a pretty,
I think that's pretty
good
accurate.
combination.
I would
Okay, here
say,
we go.
yeah.
What was the greatest day of your life? Ooh. So I think the greatest day of my life was when I married my beautiful bride.
Oh.
Very special day. I was married previously, and I have a daughter from a previous marriage, and she was there all decked out as well. And so just having both of them there. But yeah, I'd say probably our wedding day. And then, of course, the births of both of my little girls come in very close second. So pretty good days.
I think your wife's going to be happy with those answers.
I'm sorry, honey. Please.
So before we move on to the last question, I do want to ask you, so, you just had the baby. It was interesting because I was thinking, for somebody, you won The Voice, and now I'm reading on the country music news about Jake Hoot and his wife had a baby. How did that feel, knowing that your whole life is just like out there in the news?
I think that is an ongoing, I won't say struggle, but it's an ongoing conversation between my wife and I, and of course now both of our girls, just because people came to know me through a show where everything was put out there and people felt a part of it. And I always want people to feel a part of everything we're doing, especially people who are supporting and stuff like that. Like, I can't thank them enough. And so I want them to be a part of everything. I think there's times where it's a lot. It is a lot, but we talk about everything as a family and go, like when we found out we were pregnant, we held on to that for a really long time because we wanted to enjoy that as a unit and then also with our family before the world knew. And that's not us not wanting people to know. It's just there's certain things that are special that we just wanted to hold on to as long as we could. But, it's special when people, when either People Magazine or whoever it is, put that stuff out there. But as long as a family, we're talking about it, and making sure everybody's comfortable with that stuff coming out beforehand.
Well, I think everybody wants to celebrate with you. I was pretty happy when I saw that too. I was like, oh, yay, that's exciting.
Yeah, and people ask me at all my shows, where are the girls at? And I'm like, well, if it's an overnight trip, it's really hard to bring them, but they've been making a couple appearances here and there. So hopefully y'all will get to see them at some show. Yeah.
Okay, good. I love that. All right, we'll do one more.
All right, uno más. Here we go. What is something you're glad your family doesn't know about you? Oh. Wow. I don't know that there's a ton that they don't know. A memorable moment that I can remember, that I can just say, this is just off the top of my head, y'all. But a memorable moment is on the finale of The Voice. Ricky Duran and I are standing there waiting for them to announce who the winner is of season 17. And I'm telling y'all, if y'all think it's bad watching it at home for like the pauses that they do, imagine being there in person. It seems like forever. They narrow it down to me and Ricky and they go, okay, we're going to take a commercial break. And they do. And during commercial break, Blake Shelton walks up on the stage and has a full bottle, I think it was whiskey. I don't know what it was. I don't drink that much. I don't hardly drink at all. I smoke cigars. That's my thing. But full bottle, takes it off and goes, y'all need this more than I do. And he took a big old swig, and then me, I took a big swig, and then Ricky took a big swig. And not a lot of people know that story. And it was just a fun little bonding moment for us three that we got to share a drink with Blake Shelton on stage. So I don't think my family knows that. I think Mom was in the crowd. I know she was in the crowd, but I don't think she saw it. So, Mom, if you saw that, if you didn't see that, I'm sorry. That's what happened that night. So, yeah.
Okay, we're getting the inside scoop on the whole deal. And I love Ricky too.
Oh, I do
What
too.
a great guy.
Oh, he's
what a great guy.
incredibly talented.
Yes, well, you both are, and congratulations on the win and all
Thank
of your
you.
success,
Thank
the
you.
new song, the baby, the family, all the things. I'm so pleased to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for watching Up in Country. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave us a comment. We do new episodes every Tuesday, and be sure to follow Up in Country on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. And you can follow me too at Sue Bonzell on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.